back to CTN. I'm your host, Robert Van Sluten. This episode, we're going to start talking about keyboards. I went ahead and created an application called Keyboards. I've selected the background view and I've changed the background color to black in the attribute inspector. And I went down to the library and I dragged in a text field. I'm going to go ahead and run this. When I select the text field, I get a keyboard. Now, there's two basic questions. One is, when I'm done entering something, how do I get information off of the text field into the view controller? That's just simply an issue of an outlet. The second, more complicated question is, how does the keyboard get dismissed after I've done entering the information? We're going to talk about that. But first, I want to go to the next slide and cover some of the attribute changes you can make in this application to get some different keyboards and some default text in the text field. Let's take a quick look at some of the text field attributes in the attribute inspector. There's the notion of a placeholder, which is a piece of text that is displayed grayed out in the text field before you enter something. And I'll just say enter number. If I scroll down, you also have the option of some control over things like capitalization and correction. A very interesting one is keyboards. There's several types of keyboards. And we're going to choose numbers and punctuations. And you also have some control over the appearance of the return key. And for example, you can say join something or go to the next thing or whatever. We'll do done. Okay, I'm going to zoom back and I'm going to go ahead and run this. So it's going to build and run. It's always slow when I'm doing QuickTime recording. You notice I had the display of enter number grayed out. You probably can't see that. But I get a different keyboard now. I get numbers and punctuations, and I got a done key down here. Let's go to the next slide and we'll talk about some of the programming we have to do. Alright, what I'm going to do here is relatively simple. From the text field, I'm going to control drag into the implementation section of the viewcontroller.m to create and connect an action. I'm going to call it done. The type is going to be text field. And the event that I want the action to represent is did end on exit, which is when the done key is pressed. Create the method. I'm going to paste in some code that I have in my clipboard, 2 lines of code. The first is a log statement which outputs the value that was entered in the text field. Entered value, %@ says print representation of the object. And the object is sender.text. Now sender is the text field. Then I'm going to tell sender to resign first responder. The first responder is the object that the user is currently interacting with. And this causes the keyboard to disappear. Let's run this. I already had the simulator running, so I'll stop it. And hopefully there we go. Okay, my keyboard, enter a number, press the done key, the keyboard disappears. Now here's an issue. Normally, by convention, if I click outside of the keyboard, the background view, that's the equivalent of the done key. However, that doesn't work in this application. That has to be implemented programmatically. And I'm going to show you the best way to do that in the next episode. Thanks for watching.